Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings and Yahoo for Monday, March the 11th. We got a 6-game Monday slate. I'm going to go through each position, talk about some of the guys that stand out to me on this 6-game slate, work our way through the player pool, and I will give my 5 plays for DraftKings and 5 plays for Yahoo. These are 5 players that I like specifically for each site. Before we do get started, though, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss out on any of my new uploads. So at point guard today, starting off here, James Harden and Russell Westbrook are our 2 most expensive options. Harden is 11-4 against the Hornets. The Rockets are on a back-to-back, and Russell Westbrook is 10,800 against the Jazz. And just looking at the slate the night before, I don't have interest in either guy. Harden at 11,400 obviously has upside, but with Chris Paul fully healthy, I just don't feel like I need to pay this price tag for James Harden. We look at some of like the 9K plays. Like I think Andre Drummond is in a smash spot at 9,100 against Brooklyn. Paul George feels a bit underpriced at 9,500. Bradley Beal even at 9,700 in a matchup with the Kings, a 241 total. I feel like might even be a better play. Beal has just been so consistent lately, been playing so well. So don't really think I need to pay up for Harden today. And then Russell Westbrook against the Jazz, I can definitely get away from. Tough spot, road matchup, good defensive team. 10,800, obviously Westbrook as well has upside to pay off this price tag, but just don't feel like I need to play Westbrook today. I'm going to look other ways at point guard. I think the mid-range is very strong today, like the 7K range, the 6K range. There's some really good plays in this mid-range. So don't see myself forcing in any of the top point guards. My favorite option here would probably be Donovan Mitchell at the top if I were to pay up for somebody. Mitchell's going to be playing this game against OKC without Rubio. Dante Exum's going to play, but he'll most likely just be playing backup and won't be playing any minutes either, or won't be playing a ton of minutes because he's been injured for a while. I would imagine Dante Exum's probably going to be limited today. I would doubt that he starts. They're probably going to start Royce O'Neal again. So we're going to get Donovan Mitchell playing a lot of point guard. 8,400 has 55 point upside here. Definitely like some Donovan Mitchell today, especially on Yahoo because you have to play a shooting guard. He's one of the top shooting guards on the slate, in my opinion. Shooting guard's pretty bad on Yahoo. I'm mostly going to be playing Donovan Mitchell. If I can fit in some Bradley Beal, try and do that. Maybe some Buddy Hield, but like there's really only like 6 good options here. Once you get past Jaylen Brown, it's just a bunch of guys that don't play a ton, just a bunch of minimum price plays. So probably going to be playing plenty of Donovan Mitchell on Yahoo. On DraftKings, I think he's fine as well at 8,400. But let's talk about some of these mid-range plays. So I really like De'Aaron Fox today on both sites. I like him at 7,300 on DK, and I like him at $30 on Yahoo. It's a great spot for De'Aaron Fox, facing a Wizards team that plays very fast, is not good defensively. They've struggled all year against point guards. We've seen point guards so far this year have a ton of success against the Wizards, and I think this is a great spot for De'Aaron Fox. It's a fast-paced game. It's a very high total. Close spread as well. Right now, the spread's at 2 points. Washington's favored by 2. And it's got a 241 total, so by far it's projected to be the highest scoring game on the slate. It's one of the games that just really stands out. I feel like out of all my lineups today, I'm going to have at least like 2 or 3 guys from this game in every lineup. Might even have more than that just because it's such an appealing game with the pace. 2 teams that really aren't good defensively. Love Fox here at 7,300. I think he has a ton of upside in this spot. And then going to the Wizards side, I think Tomas Satoransky at 5,800 is also a really good play on both sites. He's 5,800 on DK, 21 on Yahoo. Satoransky's been getting consistent minutes lately, been getting a ton of run, playing big minutes in competitive games. I think this game's going to be competitive. Obviously, Vegas thinks so as well with just a 2-point spread. Satoransky has shown upside when he gets the minutes. He can go out there and get you a double-double with points and assists. He's done it multiple times in his last few games. 30 points feel like a floor for Satoransky, and he's got 35, 40, 45 point upside if this game stays competitive. So I do like him quite a bit here against the Kings team that we know plays very fast and is not good defensively. Love Tomas Satoransky today at 5,800. Spencer Dinwiddie, if he's going to be low-owned, I think is a good pivot off of Satoransky. He's only 200 more. Dinwiddie's played 30 minutes in 2 straight games, and he's been very productive. Over 40 DraftKings points in 2 straight games. I think Dinwiddie's going to continue to see good run off the bench. So you could definitely go to him at 6K, especially if he's going to be a lot lower owned than Satoransky if you want to pivot in tournaments. I think that makes some sense. But value-wise, I really don't like any cheap plays at point guard. The one guy I would consider, well, two guys actually, depending on Dante Exum and if he's limited or not. If he starts and is not going to be limited, Dante Exum at 3,200 is probably one of the best value plays on the slate. But he hasn't played in quite some time. I imagine he comes off the bench, and I imagine he's limited to like 20 minutes. I don't see him playing more than that. I think he hasn't played since like at least a couple months. It's probably even longer than that. He's listed as probable. He's expected to play here. And with Rubio and Neto out, he should get some run, but it looks like he hasn't taken the court since January 5, so that's over 2 months that Exum hasn't played. I doubt he just goes out there and plays 30 minutes after not playing for 2 months, so probably going to be limited. If he's not limited, though, Dante Exum at 3,200 is a really good play. And then Brandon Knight with Matthew Dellavedova out for this game. I think Brandon Knight probably plays close to 30 minutes. It's not a great spot against Toronto, but 3,600, very cheap. If you get 30 minutes out of Brandon Knight, he could definitely pay off this price tag. So him and Exum are two value plays you could consider here. But let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. At this position at the top, Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell are two guys that really stand out here. Bradley Beal, especially if you're stacking this Kings-Wizards game, which I think makes a ton of sense today. It's by far the most appealing game. A lot of the other games on this slate aren't very appealing, so if you stack this game up, Bradley Beal definitely needs to be in your player pool. Obviously needs to be in consideration. Guys just playing massive minutes. Pretty much has given you like a 50, 55 point floor lately, and he's got big upside, especially if it's a competitive game. So I like paying up for Bradley Beal here. I like paying up for Donovan Mitchell. If you're not going to those guys, I think Joe Ingles at 5,900 is definitely in consideration in this mid-range, him and Dinwiddie. Ingles with Rubio out plays a lot of backup point guard. We see him do a lot of ball handling. He's had very productive games this year when Rubio has been out. In a matchup with OKC, pace-up spot for the Jazz. Don't mind Joe Ingles here at 5,900 if you do want to play him at this position. I like him quite a bit on Yahoo because he's at small forward, and he just really stands out here. If you're not paying up for Paul George or Kawhi, then Joe Ingles at 21 in that mid-range really stands out on Yahoo. But I think that is it for shooting guard. Really no value here. I'm going to probably be playing a lot of Beal and Mitchell at this position. Maybe some Buddy Hield. Joe Ingles, Dinwiddie, two guys I like as well. But let's go ahead and move on to small forward now. So here you got Paul George at 9,500. You have Kawhi Leonard at 8,600. Paul George at 9,500 does feel a bit underpriced. I liked him a lot. His last game against Clippers, he disappointed, was very poor. Only had like 20 fantasy points, just looked really bad in that game. I would definitely expect a bounce back spot from Paul George here. So at 9,500, you can definitely go there on this slate. I would rather play him over Kawhi, even though Kawhi is almost 1,000 cheaper. Just give me PG at 9,500 if I'm going to pay up at this position. He's the guy that I would go to. But again, like I said, this mid-range, I feel like there's good plays here. Whether you want to go to that Kings-Wizards game and play Trevor Ariza at 6K or Jabari Parker at 5,400, I think those two guys stand out. If you want to go to Ingles at 5,900, I like him as well. If we're talking about cheap plays, really don't like the value here. I don't see myself going cheap. I guess you could go to Royce O'Neal, but with Exum coming back, that should limit his minutes a bit. We obviously know that Royce O'Neal's not a very productive player. Even if he plays big minutes, rarely gives you monster upside games. So even though Royce O'Neal's still cheap at 3,700, we could probably look elsewhere on this slate. Don't feel like we need to go to him. So let's go ahead and move on to power forward now. So at this position, the mid-range I feel like is very strong as well here. If you do want to pay up, I don't mind Blake Griffin today. I know Blake Griffin's looked really bad lately. I do prefer Drummond to Blake Griffin. Just go ahead and get that out there. I would much rather play Andre Drummond. But Drummond is more expensive. He's at a different position. Like on Yahoo, you have to play a power forward and you have to play a center. So you have Griffin at 37 over here at power forward. You have Drummond at 46. So that's a big difference. I could see wanting to take the savings, play Blake Griffin, because center is a much better position than power forward. There's Bobby Portis here. There's Serge Ibaka if he starts again. Willie Cauley-Stein you can go to. Looking at power forward, I don't really see any plays I feel like I have to have. Like, my favorite plays would probably be like Kevin Love or Jabari Parker. So Blake Griffin makes a lot of sense on Yahoo. On DraftKings, you could definitely get away from him. You have Love for cheaper. I think Al Horford's in a really good spot against the Kings. I do want to talk about Bobby Portis. I like Bobby Portis quite a bit today at 5,900. I like him on both sides. He's 22 on Yahoo at center. Great spot for Bobby Portis. Pace-up spot for the Wizards. facing a Kings team that does play at a fast pace. They have struggled this year against centers as well. We've seen centers have some big games against the Kings. I would not be surprised at all if we get a big game from Bobby Portis today. He's been playing consistent minutes as well lately. We've seen him play 28, 30 minutes on a nightly basis. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, which has kind of been a concern for Portis lately, he's probably going to play close to 30 minutes, if not more than that. If Thomas Bryant's really struggling, then maybe Portis gets like 32, 34 minutes. If that's the case, easily could go for 40-plus DraftKings points. Portis does have a ton of upside when he gets the run, so I like him quite a bit, especially on DK, where you can play him at power forward. That makes him very appealing in my eyes. But you have Ibaka for 100 less if you do want someone to pivot to. Ibaka, if he starts again, could definitely be in play for a little bit cheaper than Portis. You have Jabari Parker, who I like quite a bit in this game, at 5,400. Value plays, I guess Jeff Green in that game at 4,400 isn't the worst value play. Really, I just want to play as many players from that Kings-Wizards game as I can, so Jeff Green definitely is in play if he's going to play 30 minutes in a high-scoring game, fast-paced game. You could do worse on this slate, but let's go ahead and move on to center. Definitely some plays I want to talk about here. So at the top, Andre Drummond, a guy I really want to hit on. He's 9,100 on DK. He's expensive on Yahoo. He's at 46, but he's still going to be a core play for me today. Just such a good spot for Andre Drummond, facing a Brooklyn team that we know is one of the worst teams defensively against centers. They're a bad rebounding team. It's a great spot for Drummond. He's absolutely dominated this team so far this year. Through 2 games against Brooklyn, he's averaged 56 DraftKings points, has averaged 24 and 21 against them. I would not be surprised at all if we get a 20-20 game out of Drummond here. I think we see him score north of 50, 55 DraftKings points. I think even 60 points is definitely a possibility for Drummond in this spot. If the game's competitive, he's going to play a ton of minutes. We're going to get 36, 38 minutes from Drummond if this game is close, which I think it will be. So, love Andre Drummond today. 9,100 on DK, 46 on Yahoo, going to be in a ton of my lineups. One of my favorite spin-up options, if not my favorite spin-up option on this slate. I think we see a big game from Drummond tonight. But if you're not going to Drummond, there are other plays you can go to center. At center, there's always a lot of good plays at this position. Like I said, you could go to Griffin for cheaper. I prefer Drummond, but if you think Drummond maybe struggles, or you know Drummond's going to be really popular, and you want to take some leverage there, pivot to Griffin, I think that makes sense at 8,300. But let's talk about some mid-range centers. Besides the guys I've already mentioned, Willie Cauley-Stein's a guy I want to hit on here. 5,700 on DK. I like him quite a bit. On Yahoo, I like him here as well, but he's only $2 cheaper than Portis, and I don't think that's enough savings for me to want to play Stein over Portis. I do like Stein a lot, but I would prefer Portis over him, but I'm sure I'm going to have some lineups where I'll play Stein and Portis together, or I'll play Drummond and Stein on Yahoo. On DraftKings, where you can play Portis at power forward, that allows you to play Drummond and Stein with Portis, which I think is one of my favorite builds. Love this spot for Willie Cauley-Stein. Facing a Wizards team is very bad defensively against centers, has struggled this year rebounding-wise. Willie Cauley-Stein went off against the Wizards when he did face them earlier this year, had 45 DraftKings points, 17 and 11 with 7 assists and 2 steals as well. We've seen Cauley-Stein playing consistent minutes on a nightly basis ever since Marvin Bagley got hurt. Stein's been playing about 30 minutes on a nightly basis. Sometimes he sees a little bit less, but usually he's around 30 minutes. If he's playing well, he'll play 31, 32 minutes. And I could definitely see Stein playing 32 minutes here and putting up 40, 45 DraftKings points. 5,700. Just feel like he has a ton of upside on this price tag. So love Willie Cauley-Stein in that mid-range. Him, Ibaka, Portis, just look like really good plays in that 5K range. All stand out to me today. There is a value play I want to hit on here. I do want to talk about Ante Zizic. I expect him to start for the Cavs today. We know that Tristan Thompson's going to be out and Larry Nance is going to be out as well. So we're most likely going to get Kevin Love starting at the 4 and Zizic starting at the 5. If Zizic starts, plays 30 minutes at 3,900, you could definitely do worse. I don't mind him as a value play today. I'm sure he's minimum price on Yahoo, so if you want to go there, don't mind Zizic. Only problem with him is the position. Just looking at center, there's so many good plays in that 5K range. You have Drummond at the top. It's a little tough to play Zizic, but if you do need value, he stands out as a value center. Definitely stands out to me. But I think that's it for center, guys. I think that's it for the video. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully it did help you If you enjoyed, make sure you click that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below or hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and good luck tonight on Monday's slate. Peace.